First of all, I would like to thank the mercy of God, kindness of transmitters, lectures, and great virtual holy masters, and all of you to give me this opportunity to talk about the answers to the truth. This book was written by our holy teachers. We're going to pick up a couple of topics to talk today. I try to manage within 1 hour, so about 1 hour. We try to do that. So try to keep it short, but very clear information for everybody. Hopefully, after the class, everybody will know the basic components of our complete soul and also the karma. Yeah, so that's the topic we're going to talk about. What are the soul? 3 components of Hun and 7 components of Po. What do we have in our body? What do we have? So it's good to know, okay? Just try to give you pictures there here so everybody can see it. Try to make it larger. In our body, we do have a complete soul, okay? Then there's a true nature in our body. A true nature, sometimes we call true self, Buddha nature, they are the same thing. True nature, true self, Buddha nature are the same thing. Then the other thing, we do have Hun and Po. We have 3 components of Hun, 7 components of Po into our body. So to make complete soul work. So we're going to go through the details, okay? First of all, we talk about Hun. There's 3 components of Hun. Sen Hun, that's the growth of the spirits, growth of spirits. Jie Hun, that's awareness, the feeling of spirits. The last one is the Ling You Hun, is the thought, the spirits of thought and inspirations. So those are the 3. We're going to go through the detail next. Okay, 3 Hun. Okay, just everybody, hopefully after today, you will know we have 3 components of Hun in our body. And Po, that's the other important item in our body. Po means we have 7 items of Po, 7 components of Po in our body. Happiness, sadness, joyousness, rage, love, hatred, or lust, or sometimes people call desire, okay? Okay, so those are 7 emotions, but they create the Po in our body, okay? And then we're going to talk about 6 desires later on, okay? So those are main components in our body. We're going to go through the details. So what are the complete soul? The 3 components of Hun and 7 components of Po, okay? We're going to start from here. The genetic term soul. So this soul we call here is complete soul. It's actually trichotomy of the soul, Hun, and Po. So this translation, there's soul here, and then there's also 3 parts of soul. The 3 sections are soul, Hun, and Po. It's a little confusion. So I want to say this soul is a complete soul. Okay? And this soul we call true nature or true self. Okay? True self or true nature. Then Hun and Po. Okay. This complete soul is a pivot of the man's life and death. So this is very important when people alive or people dead. That's it. The important thing is our soul. When the human body grows, the soul disperses into the nerve ending to form the Hun, and the sensual organs to form the Po. Oh, okay, that's good to know, right? When human body grows, the soul, okay, this soul here is we call Buddha nature, okay, the true self, dispersed into the nerve ending to form the Hun, okay, and then the sensual organ to form the Po. Here we said the Hun consists of 3 components. So we know we have a Hun in our body. There are 3 components in our Hun. The first component is a Sen Hun, is spirit of growth. Spirit of growth. The second one is the Jie Hun, the spirit of awareness, the feeling, can feel the heat or cold, the awareness. And the third one is the Yohun, the spirit of thought and inspiration, can think, okay? That's what Yohun, okay? So Yohun is what most people refer to when we speak about soul. So it's not the complete spirit, complete soul. So we have to know, normal people, we do not think correctly, okay? But the Hun is the 3 components there. So after the class, I hope everybody remember these 3 components: the spirits of growth, spirits of awareness, and spirits of thought and inspirations. So those, yeah, very important. Okay, good to know that. We're going to talk about which one will go to report to the heaven and hell. Okay, we will know what next. Okay, the Po. The Po is an essential organs like eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Generate the 6 desires. Okay, all those organs generate 6 desires too. The 6 sensual organs then generate the 7 emotions of happiness, rage, sadness, joyousness, love, hatred, and lust, sometimes called desire. Okay, so those 7 components, now you know 7 components are Po. Okay, we know these seven components now. Okay, so that's a Po that form the Po for in our body. Good to know, right? These are the 7 components of Po. When one deal with, okay, let's see, and highlight. So okay, yeah. When one deal with other people, when we deal with other people and attend to various daily chores, means daily matters, his Po generates desires and emotions, and is expanded by converting into physical energy. So when we deal with things, deal with other things, deal with daily matters, we create desires and emotions. Okay. That also deplete the souls to the extent that it cannot be restored to its original true self and cannot return to the God's kingdom. Cannot, yeah. So that's the key here is we expanded, we kind of use up. That's what happened to us. Then we cannot go back to our original cannot restore our original true self. That's what happened. Okay, so that's why we try to control the 7 emotions and 6 desires are very, very critical. Our Holy Mother, the God, always talk about we need to get rid of 7 emotions and 6 desires in order to go back, become a sense of Buddha in the future. We need to maintain that. Okay. I'll try to go a little slowly so we fully understand what it means. Okay. When the true self is the essence of the human life. Okay. That's our main essence, means our main part of our human life. Okay. The Hun and Po are the human lives. That's the body. Okay. The faith. Okay. Our body life. That's why all saints preached the doctrine of practicing both true self and lives. Okay. Preach means what? Teach us. Okay. Taught us. We need to practice both true self and life. This true self is our Buddha nature. The life is, for example, like our mind, heart, what we do, what we think, what we behave. Okay, those are very what we say. That's very important. So we got to cultivate both. Okay, we need to let our true self in charge every day, every moment. But in the meantime, we need to manage our mind. We need to know what we think, what we do, what we say every right moment. Every moment, we need to know what we say, what we do, what we say. Be careful, okay? Always have a consequence there. Here is talk about very important things. The chi of the Hun and Po is like the invisible bonds linking the soul and body. This soul is like a Buddha nature, the true self. Okay, so the chi of Hun and Po is very important part to bond the soul and body together. Okay, the function is a medium synchronizing the soul and body. Okay, so the chi and Hun and Po are very important here. The chi of Hun and Po is called silver ribbon, right? So that's the connection for them together. When the true self resides in the body, one is alive. Okay, when true self is our true self, our true nature, or called Buddha nature, or we can call different name. True self, true nature, Buddha nature. We talk about the same thing. Okay, so our true nature resides in the body. One is alive, but true self is reside in one's body. But we also have a true self outside of our body. So true self is everywhere. But if true self leaves our body, that means we will not be alive. So when the true self departs from the body, one dies. Okay? When the true self leaves the body, one dies. Okay? When a person is alive, his Hun resides in the liver. Okay? Now everybody knows his Hun resides in the liver. His Po resides in the lung. So now you know where they resides. Okay, the Hun is in the liver, Po is in the lung. So we know that now. Okay, it's important. It's good to know. When the Hun and Po reside in the body, one is alive. When the Hun and Po reside in the body, one is alive. When the Hun and Po leave the body, one dies. Okay, not just true self. Hun and Po leave the body, one die too. Okay. Okay. here should be the soul, the complete soul. It's the seed for cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Okay. Yeah, because I read through the Chinese Sutra, Holy Teacher wrote it. Here should be translated to the complete soul is the seed for the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, for the reincarnation. Okay. Yeah. When a person died, one person died. This is interesting to know. His senhun, the spirit of growth, stay at a funeral hall, so people go there to pay the respect. While his jehun, the spirit of awareness, stays at his grave. Okay, so when we bury the person, his jehun will at his grave. His yohun means the spirits of thought and inspiration report to the hell or heaven for judgment. So who go? The yohun report to the hell and heaven for judgment. So good to know that, right? Senhun stay at the funeral halls, jehun bury at grave, yohun report to hell or judgment or heaven. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the yohun which becomes a human, a ghost, a saint, or a sage, a good or bad, or an animal. See, yohun will become depending on what the person has done. Okay, in previous life and this lifetime. So yohun. It's interesting. A true self. The yohun is the first to enter the body before the birth. It's the first to leave the body upon death. So when the baby cry, the yohun enter to the baby's body. Okay, when a person die, yohun is the first one to leave to report to the hell or heaven for the judgment. Okay, so yohun is the first one to enter the body, the first one to enter the body, and the first one to leave the body when the person dies. Mm-hmm. So that's good to know. Mm-hmm. At the moment an infant gives his first cry, the hun enter his body. Okay. From the moment the infant gives the first cry, the hun enters his body. When the hun enters the body, the true self is connected with qi of Houtian, is oxygen. From that moment, the hun is now dependent on the body to manifest itself, okay, to make it work, okay. Next statement is very important. If your hun does not enter the body, if the baby was born, however, the yohun does not enter the body, what happened? Even with the true self, so true self is always there. The Buddha nature is always there. The infant cannot live, means the infant is not alive. Okay, so interesting. Yohun doesn't get into the body of the baby. Even the true self is there. The infant cannot alive. So yohun had to get into the body, then baby will cry. Okay, that's why the infant must cry at the time of birth in order to live. That means yohun had to get in at that moment. Okay, so that's the information very important for us to know. Okay. The pole depends on the correlations of vitalities, and the qi in the whole天 for existence. It takes 49 days after birth for the 7 components of Po to become fully established. Similarly, the 7 components will not totally vanish until 49 days after death. So it's interesting. We always hear when baby is born, it takes a certain time to complete. So that's why the Po of the baby takes 49 days for the Po to complete, to become fully established. 49 days. Okay? The same thing, the 7 components will not totally disappear after 49 days. Until 49 days after death. So that's why you can see certain religions, they have a lot of this recite the sutra for 7 weeks for the person. So that's why. So now we know 49 days. Okay, that's why if you remember when sage of true sage of Le Dao, happy our the senior trade transmitter, he knows who came to his funeral service, who came to pay respect. That's why, because 49 days are still there. They knew that. And then we know the spirits of growth is at the funeral hall. So anyone go to the pay the respect, they all know who comes, who goes. Even when a person is buried at the grave, they still know who comes to his funeral service. So that's why now we say someone is there, and then also Qi Po is there. Okay, Qi Po will disappear until 49 days after death. So we know that now. So everybody should have an idea now what's going on. So when person die, the person still know, he or she still know who comes to see him or to see her after the person died. So 49 days. Okay, so interesting. Okay, yeah. Now we talk about true nature, our Buddha nature, or called true self. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. The word "it" in the statement of True Heart Sutra. Okay, that's very important here. Okay, our true self, it cannot be created or destroyed. It cannot be contaminated or purified. It cannot be enhanced or degraded. Refer to true self. The true self cannot be drowned in the water or nor burned in the fire. So that's our true self. So the true self of all of us are the same true self of the Buddhas, saints and Buddhas. So that's why Buddha always told us, all of us are Buddha reborn, because true self are the same for every one of us and Buddhas. So that's why we are all Buddha reborn. We have to know that our original true self comes from God. So everybody was from God. We are all Buddha reborn. Don't forget. So our true self is there already, very purified. It's very pure. It's pure, innocent. But however, we had a bad temper, bad habit, attachment, desires, 3 poisons: greed, anger, stubbornness, or ignorance, to cover our true self. So to cultivate, why do we need to cultivate Tao? To cultivate is start to get rid of all these true self, which do not have originally, like bad temper. So to cultivate the Tao is to get rid of all those stuff, which those stuff like bad temper, bad habit, desires, attachment, sweet poisons, greedy, anger, stubbornness, which our true self do not have originally. True self do not have those stuff. So we need to get rid of them. Okay? Now we talk about the true self resides in a different body for every life. Just like one moves from one house to another, the true self does not change. So the true self is the same. Okay? We could reborn, okay? But true self resides in different body. Okay? When this lifetime we can call somebody a name. But last life, the person has a different name, but it's the same true self. Okay? It's like one moved from one house to another. The true self does not change. Interesting. The true self does not change. Okay? So you see our holy teacher, he reincarnated 72 times. The last time is our 18th patriarch. So they are the same true self, okay? For Qigong and also the 18th patriarch. The true self always resides in the right portal. Okay, remember when we received the Tao, Holy Qigong teacher followed our transmitter hand to open our gate, the first treasuries. So that's the gate for true self to go in and out. When we leave this world, when one day we have to go back, then our true self will come out from the gate of the first treasuries. Okay, that's a gate for true self to in and out. Then the true self is reside inside of the first gate. Okay, right portal. Okay, it reigns the entire body without entering nor existing. Okay, means true self always reside. It means it reigns means rules. Okay, in charge the entire body without entering nor existing. Go to the next page. So the true self doesn't runs the entire body without entering nor existing. Okay. But usually the key here is because not our true self always in charge. A lot of time we have a human mind, human heart, human thinking in charge. We have 6 organs in charge, take over from the true self. Okay, so to cultivate means we have to let our true self in charge, always based on conscience. Use let Buddha nature in charge, true self in charge. Okay, that's important. That's why, in order to practice Tao, one must first focus his efforts on the true self. That's important. Bring our true self every day. Let put true self in charge. Okay. I'm going to talk about important. Next one is we're going to talk about what are the karma. Okay, there's explanation from Holy Teacher. I'm going to make it larger so people can see it easily. This area just, we're going to talk about karma, okay? This paragraph is just Holy Teacher explaining what the karmas are. So we're going to go back to the previous section. After this, the mutual interactions between the mankind and other substance or beings, called sentient beings, will create a force that determines the fate. This force is called karma. So the mutual interactions between mankind and other matter, substance, or sentient beings. Okay, so any interactions will create a force that determines the fate. This force we call karma. Okay, so good. Yeah, that's how the people explain karma. Okay, next one is very important for all of us. When a person does, says, and thinks are called the karma force of actions, karma force of words, the karma force of thought, respectively. These karma forces will induce suffering or happiness to others. So, and that's why it's very important what we think, what we say, what we do. Those forces will create karma. Those items, what we do, what we say, what we think, will create karma. And this karma also will induce, means bring out the suffering or happiness to others. So very, very careful about the karma. And then we're going to talk about what Buddha always do. The reactions of others due to this karma force will recoil back upon oneself and will be one's own suffering and happiness. Recoil means reflected. So the reaction of others due to this karma force will reflect back upon oneself. Whatever we do, going to come back to us one day. In previous life, this lifetime will come back to us. Okay, will be one's own suffering or happiness. We just didn't know that because whatever we have today is what we have done before. Okay, we're going to finish this one more sentence. So will be one's own suffering or happiness. The end result is that whatever one does, one will get it back. We call it the karma. So it's a very important concept. It's whatever one does, one will get it back. We call it karma. So we just don't see it. Could be in previous life, could be in this lifetime. Whatever we do, we will get them back. So that's why it's very important, okay, to understand all those effects, and we know what we have to do. Then we're going to come back to the topic. Holy Teacher talk about karma. Okay? what is the karma? We already know that, okay? Important. For every actions or cause, there's reactions and effect. So there's a cause and effect, okay? This is a universal law. There, everything is very fair. So sometimes we think, how come this person is so poor? This person is like a beggar. This person is so rich. It's because of what the person has done in previous life or this lifetime. So that's what happened. One has done, once does well, get back to it, the person again. So when we are in a good life, some people are rich because they make a lot of donations, not just money. They put a lot of time, money, everything to donate in previous life or this lifetime. When some people are beautiful, why some people are beautiful? They always said because in previous life they brought a lot of flower to worship Buddhas. That's why, okay, and God, okay, because it's what they are beautiful this lifetime. So that's interesting to know, right? So by the same reasoning, the extension and separation of all substance and beings here means sentient beings, okay, include human beings and animals, okay, occurs when the effects and the causes vanish, means the extension or separation of all substance and beings occur when the effect and cause vanish. Vanish means end. The law of karma can be extended to the relationship between all matters happening among substance or beings. So we have to be careful. The law of karma extended to relation between all matters happening among substance, not just sentient being only. It could be among substance too, or sentient being. Nothing can exist without cause. Okay, everything happened for the reasons. Okay, nothing can exist without a cause. Okay, so since the Buddha, they try to take care of the cause. Human beings try to take care of the result. Okay, so Buddhas try to cut the cost, try to reduce the cost, don't want to have a cost, create a cost because they know there's a consequence to suffer later on. The cause is the essence of all elements and life. Okay, the cause are the main body, the important part. The essence is the main body of all elements and lives. Yeah, because of cause create a problem. Okay, so we need to cut the causes. Okay, faith, or you can call affinity, is the force that bring them together, and effect is the end result. So affinity is a force that brings them together, and effect is the end result. Okay, so that's why, because affinity bring them together, then we have to accept the end result. Okay, we're going to continue here. Yeah, we're going to skip that paragraph. Okay, this is important concept here. The emotions and minds and habits of parents pass on heredity in their children, forming the effects of the children's life. Heredity means what? The passing of the physical or mental characteristics, or maybe to the children. Okay, so parents, the emotion, mind, habit, did affect the children. Okay, very, very important. Okay, when a life is born, or being raised by the parents. The environment and education shape the mind of the children. So environment and education are critical to shape the mind of the children. So sometimes parents try to go to some areas to help the children to grow up. So that's very important because right now, especially now, a lot of issues in a lot of places in the world. So parents always try to find a good area for the children to grow up. All memories built into the mind in this life become the causes of the next life. So all memories built into this lifetime become the causes of next life. This sequence feed on itself becomes a cycle. The force of the cycle decides a person's fate, and this is karma. Okay. Next sentence is very, very important. Okay, if you remember this sentence, then you pretty much can explain to the people what karma means, what happens. A Buddhist sutra stated, if asking about the cause from previous lives is what you receive this life. If asked about the reward in the next life, that is what we do this life. Okay, so very important. Now, good sentence there. What if ask the cause on previous life, what we receive today in this lifetime. If ask the reward of what we're going to receive in the future life is what we do this lifetime and what we do in previous life. So they're very important, affect each other. But with Tao, when people receive Tao, to cultivate Tao and propagate Tao, accumulate enough merits and virtues. What happened? We can resolve all the karmas from previous life and this lifetime. We can go back clearly and cleanly to where we came from originally. Then pay back everything in this lifetime and go back there with Buddha together. So that's the preciousness of to receive Tao, to cultivate Tao, because we resolve all the karmas. But if we don't resolve the karma in this lifetime as a human being, when we go back, we still have to pay back. That means we can go back and clean it. If we still owe something, we still have to pay back. However, when you go back as a human being, it's very easy to do good deeds, good things, to create merits, accumulate enough merits and virtues. Very easy to do that because in this world, we can do so many things we can do, can help. But when we go back to original place, heaven, you know what? It's very hard to accumulate merits, create good deeds, because they are all Buddha there. They don't need a lot of help there. So that's why Buddha wants us to cultivate, practice Tao today in this world, and then before we go back, accumulate enough merits and virtues. Okay. Lao Tzu said what? If one sows the seeds of a melon, one gets melons. If one sows the seeds of peas, one gets peas. So long as the seeds are not lost, the root will take hold and yield whatever was sown. So when we plant the seeds of melon, we will not get pears. Okay, whatever we plant, we will get. Okay, that's the law, the universal law. Okay, I Ching stated. Okay, the family that does a lot of good deeds will prosper. The family that does a lot of evil deeds, will have misfortune. Okay? Prosper means what? Prosper means what? Prosper means succeed in material or financial terms. Okay? That's prosper. Then family does have a lot of evil deeds will have what? Could be misfortune, could be tragedies, could be this lifetime, could be future lives. We don't know. Okay? So that's why we want to continue to keep doing the good deeds. Next statements. Christianity emphasize on the original sin. Okay? This means that when one is born, he already carries some tendency to sin in the subconsciousness mind. Subconsciousness is existing in the mind, but not immediately available to consciousness. Okay? So deep inside there. And this contaminated mind is the root of sin. In another world, all lives come into existence in this world because they sinned before. Okay. Yeah. So that's why we have for human being to reborn, most of us, because of our karma. If we were Buddha reborn, they don't have too much karma, but human being, we have karma. That's why we come here to pay back our karma. And then to creditors, we want to cultivate, propagate the Taos, accumulate enough merits and virtues to go back. Okay? So whatever we plant, we will get. Okay? We try to go a little slowly because we want to make sure everybody fully understands all those stuff. Very critical as cultivators. Okay? All these teachings of the saints confirm the law of karma. Okay, all the teaching, saints and Buddha try to tell us the law of karma. Okay, causes must produce effects. Effects come result from causes. So the Buddha try to remove the causes. They don't want to see the effects. Human being, we always see the effects. Then we regret. It's a why me? Why I have to suffer? Okay, so we didn't know what we have done in previous lives or this lifetime. We didn't know that. Good cause produces good effects. Bad cause produce bad effects. Okay, so what kind of cause are? That's why cause is important. Okay, we create different results, different effects. People do not understand the law and do not understand the law of karma, and that's why they are doing evil instead of good deeds. Okay, because people do not know, do not understand, do not know the consequence, do not know the law of karma. That's why they do bad things. Okay, they don't do good things. So once we know that there's a karma, there's a law of universal law. Causality is there. We have to reduce the karma. We don't want to create a karma, suffer as consequence in the future. Whatever we do in the previous life, whatever we do in this lifetime is what we're going to receive in the future. Okay? But one thing, if we can cultivate this lifetime, do the right thing, pay back everything, receive Tao, cultivate, propagate Tao, don't do the bad things. At least we can go back to continue to cultivate. Holy teachers told us, if we cultivate, we receive Tao, cultivate, propagate Tao, and do the good things. Holy teacher guarantee us 10,800 years we will be in heaven. But if we do bad things, he cannot guarantee that. So we must cultivate, propagate Tao based on our conscience, based on our Buddha nature to do things every day, and then help people, help sentient beings, accumulate enough merits and virtues. So Buddha, Holy Teacher will guarantee us we will be there for 10,800 years. Sugamoni Buddha, that's the leader of the Buddhists, once explained the karma of 3 lives: past lives, present life, and future life. Yeah, they always tie together, okay? This is also an important statement here. The good and the bad deeds from the past lives form a force to reincarnate one into present lives. It's where what we have today is because from our past life, because we have done good and bad deeds. Okay, what we are receiving today is what we have done in the past lives. The good and the bad deeds of this life, together with those of the past lives, becomes the determined forces of the fate of future life. So this is a very important statement, okay? The good and the bad deeds of this life, together with those of the past lives, becomes the determining forces of the fate of future life. However, we couldn't control the past life already. It's over. So only thing we can do in this lifetime, try to do the good deeds, because they will determine the forces of fate of a future life. So that's why we want to bring people to receive Tao. We want to help them besides helping ourselves. We want to help, bring all those people who have affinity with us, like our family members, parents, children, co-worker, whoever has affinity with Buddha, or whoever we know, we can bring them to receive Tao. We can save them. There's 7 generations of ancestors, 9 generations of descendants will benefit too. So one person receive Tao, cultivate, propagate Tao, all 17 generations will benefit because one person is cultivating and propagating Tao. Okay, so see how powerful they are. Okay. All must know that God is just, and the judgment he renders are based on our own karma. The fortunes and misfortunes are the effects of one's own doing. The effects one encounters may be from one's previous life or from the present life. Okay? So God is very fair. Okay? The judgment is based on what? Our own karma. Okay? So when we receive fortune or misfortunes are the effect from our own doings. The effect one encounter, one faces, maybe from previous life or from present life. So it's combination, okay, not just previous lives, okay, also what we do in this lifetime. Okay, this is the last statement we're going to talk about today. The causes one brings about one may rise to effect in the present life or future life. Justice will always be done, and the law of karma indeed need no further discussion. Okay? So we all know what we done in previous life or present life will bring the reward for future life. The justice always be done, okay? And the law of karma in this needs no further discussion. Means it's undoubtable. It's always there, always fair, okay? Justice is there, okay? So today we talk about so hopefully everybody knows what's the complete soul, okay, which had Hun and Po, okay? So we know 3 Hun, 7 Po, okay? This 7 Po is from our 6 organs here. Created 6, okay? Eyes like to see good things. Ear like to hear good things. Nose like to smell good things. Tongue like to taste good things. Body like to touch good things. Mind like to think, okay? So those create 6 desires. We have to be careful. We have to manage that. Then we have 7 emotions. All those create a problem for us. So God always wants us to get rid of 7 emotions and 6 desires before we go back to the heaven. Okay? Before we go back to the heaven. And then Yohun is the one going to report it to the heaven or report it to the hell. It's the first one to go after death. And the first one to come to reborn. So once Yohun get into the body, true self always there, then the baby will be alive. Okay? So now we know what's complete soul is all about. Thank you, everybody. That's all I have today. If I say something imperfectly and incorrectly, I ask the forgiveness from God, Holy Masters, transmitter, lecturers, and all of you to give me some advices. Thank you.